Hello beloveds, my name is Evonne from Evonne and welcome to the cycle report for the 18th of March 2019, and I come to you from Dja Dja Wurrung country in Central Highlands, Victoria, Australia in the Southern Hemisphere. Before I launch into the cycle report for this week, I just wanted to send my deepest love and sympathy to the Muslim community and all those in New Zealand, and actually to all those who felt the ripple effect of the devastated carnage that happened in Christchurch last week. I feel it's easy to drop into overwhelmness and anger and rage when tragedies like this happen in our society. And I just wanted to say that I feel like it's a real call to action, and to really start looking at, our own lives and where, racism, fascism, hurt, anger, rage that actually sits in our bodies and sits in our lineage. Because especially those who are from a white colonial society, there is not one bit actually from our lineage in this that doesn't involve some kind of racism or, that feeling of hard done by or whatever it is. I really don't know. It's something that I'm really exploring myself, but I really feel that, all of us needs to take responsibility for this, And also, you can't, I don't know, the feeling of dropping into fighting hurt and anger and rage with hurt and anger and rage. I feel that at the moment, our Mother Earth and our planet is actually rising in vibration every single day. And we need to, I feel it's a call to action to come from a place of love, People who have so much rage and anger in their bodies, didn't come into this world with that. You just think of that wee baby who comes in, it's so pure of love. And it is actually our culture, and, from information that's passed down generations to generations that actually has got to this child and taught them how to hate and how to be racist and how to be fascist. So I think we all need to take up responsibility and look at it, where it sits for us, and come to it, and work towards a point that we can actually sit in love, because, it's the wild soul that's calling for that, yearning for that love that we all came in with to come home again. And it's to work through life with love in our hearts. I don't know, I just think if everybody lived with love in their hearts, no matter what, and keep showing up no matter what with love in our hearts, this world, that's when it gets fucking awesome, and that's when it gets really, really interesting. But we've got to rise with the earth, we've got to rise with her vibration and move through the hate and the anger and the pain, and just keep coming up to it and keep facing it. Otherwise we're not going to evolve, we're not going to move through, what's being called for us is to return to that place of peace and love within our hearts. Anyway, for what it's worth, I hope that makes sense. So this week so I'm still reeling and feeling into that. That's, this feeling, again, it's easy to get overwhelmed, I think, with such tragedies. Breathing in the love. So this week on this land, we are, today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days away from Autumn Equinox. Now this is really, really exciting. Autumn Equinox and Spring Equinox in the Northern Hemisphere is when we are called to look at what we need to let go of to bring balance in our lives. So, to really look at the things that are weighing us down, or the things that are stopping us from having a beautiful, peaceful, loveful life, and to let them go. So we can move into the darkness, in this beautiful moving into the womb space. What do we need to let go of so we can live in peace? What do we need to let go of so we can live in harmony and love? This is the time that the autumn equinox is all about the letting go. What do we need to let go of to bring balance into our lives? Or, dreaming those good dreams of how do we want to live? How do we want our world to be? How do we want our earth to be? It's really, really fucking important to keep dreaming into those good dreams with heart open love. So autumn equinox is all about the balance. And it's really interesting actually, because the full moon, so the moon's coming in, and I'll talk a bit about that later, but it's like double scale. So it's a full moon in Libra. So looking at, really the balance. It's just such a potent, it feels like a big portal. And it's the portal too to stepping in through, the dark and the light. Because, as from next Thursday, I think autumn equinox comes in at 9 a.m. in the morning, and after that it starts getting darker. So right now we're coming into the balance of equal light and equal night, and after Thursday it becomes darker. So it will be more darkness than light. So have a look at things that you don't want to take into that darkness to make it such a more easeful, beautiful underworld space. It feels really good to me to be nourished by that, instead of being in that pit of the darkness in the middle of winter and just really suffering. We actually don't have to do that. Autumn equinox is also the time of the Maga. So I don't know about you, but when I sit and listen to Magas who are healed Magas that are fully in their power, as a mother who's in full flight, fullness of motherhood, it's deeply nourishing to me to listen to the wisdoms of these beautiful Magas who have lived through their maiden, through their motherhood, and who are moving into this harvest of their life, and the richness and the gold that they have to share with us. It's so important to really honour the Maga, because they have this magic gold about them that brings deep nourishment to us all, and wisdom. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So my teacher, Jane Hardwicke Collings, always says that when we are maidens, we learn about our power. When we are mothers, we practice our power or our magic. But when we are Magas, we become our magic and our power. They're the women that I really want to speak to, and really sit and listen to these women who are being in their magic and their power. So the harvest of their life, they know, they've lived the cycles. They know what seeds that they are collecting to take into those great, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren. Because that's where their focus is right now. It's like, how can we make this life better, or this planet better, or this world better for the great-grandchildren who are coming through, the seeds to take in for the next cycle. So to all the beautiful Magas out there, thank you, thank you, thank you. I honour you. You're amazing. As I said earlier, so we're moving into a full moon. So at the moment we're in a waxing gibbous. So it looks like, if you look out in the sky, the moon, it looks like an egg. So it's a point before ovulation. It's that point of, right before the fullness is coming through. So a really, really potent time to really think about the things that you want to be fully illuminated in your life. Full moon is all about fully illumination, and grabbing, what is it that I want to bring into fullness? So that is, a good thing to really think about and to call in before the full moon, which is on Thursday at around about here on Eastern Standard Time, Daylight Savings Time, I think, about 12:30ish, around about there. So, do your full moon prayers before that time and say, I give great thanks for this fullness of whatever. And it's a really good time too to look at your harvest and say, okay, so what of my harvest do I want to bring into fullness? You know, what do you want to bring into that full light of, yep, that's the one, let's really focus on that and let's bring it up and see it. So that's about the full moon. My personal cycle, I am on day 16, so I am, you know, just past ovulation, so I still have this full energy, which is great and sustaining me and my family at the moment. But I can, you know, it's starting to whisper, what's to come in the descent. So, you know, the harvest season with the harvest, you know, the slightly harvest body, you know, the murmurs of preparation for the descent. Also, just wanted to mention too that Mabon, which is the pagan, so I'm sort of feel like I'm jumping a little bit, but just going back, the pagan Mabon is the symbol. Mabon was the god of freedom and wild things. So here's the time to really step into this wild and free and what that is for you. So that's really exciting. And on this full moon, with the 4 Seasons journey in Victoria, there will be a whole bunch of women dancing under the full moon as their ally animal and really feeling what it is to be that wild and free selves and to explore that in this deep ritual space. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that, and I'll report on that next week. I'll put the red tent questions in the link below, but from my heart to your heart, I send you deep, deep love, and may you feel deeply nourished and deeply held as you always are. Thank you for listening.